No doubt there are plenty of good artists in Nepal, but only a handful of them deserve to be famous. This is a story of a world class photographer who is still not recognized enough in his own country. This is the story of Sagar Giri. Born in the lush jungles of Chitwan, Nepal, a top class photographer by skills but so much underrated. Driven by his passion and love for the wildlife, a student of hospitality management in Australia came back to his hometown Sauraha, Chitwan, known for its immense collection of wild flora and fauna, including the endangered one-horned rhino and the mighty Bengal tiger. Growing up close to nature, he had a hobby of bird watching. While watching channels like National Geographic and Animal Planet in his childhood, his eyes always searched for his own country's beauty. He always had envisioned his country to be featured in those channels and be known to the world. As he grew up schooled in his own town, his love for the wildlife also grew within him. His family had a small business of which they expected him to be a successor of. Despite his passion for wildlife and its conservation, as he didn't see any scope or practicality in Nepal working in this field, he decided to go abroad to Australia as per his family's wish. But that wasn't the end of his dreams. After spending a few months as a student, he came back to pursue his dreams and turn his hobby into a career. But that wasn't an easy path for him because no one prior to him had pursued this path of wildlife photography as a full-time career, and he didn't know what was ahead of him. As a beginner, he needed expensive cameras, gears, and drones to truly explore the beauty of wildlife. He loaned some money from the bank and began his journey. His aspirations were becoming a reality, but the road was not and still is not a straight line. He faced numerous problems from the very beginning. Even though the road was bumpy, he knew determination was the key and never backed up. As we know, being a wildlife photographer is not everybody's cup of tea. This job requires patience and sheer focus to be good, which Sagar Giri didn't lack. Nepal itself being such an underrated country, his work faced the same problem. Weeks of camping in the swamps surrounded by insects and venomous snakes just for a click. Risking his life being attacked by animals just for a click. Working 24/7 in the harsh summers and the shivering winters just for a click. These things, instead of beating him down, gave him the thrill and motivation to continue. But despite that, his work was not appreciated enough. Publications would only sometimes publish his work, but would not even give name credit to him, let alone financial credit. The huge investment of millions and the lack of people who invest in his work made him financially weak, and he had to get into wedding photography and videography for some time to become financially stable again. As he sailed through this field, he established his own organization, I Click for Conservation, which mainly worked for conservation of wildlife all over Nepal in different places like Bardia National Park and Suklafata Wildlife Reserve. He is also associated with numerous organizations like Tiger Conservation Committee, of which he is the executive member of, Anti-Poaching Youth Awareness Community, of which he is also an executive member of, founder member of the Sauraha Yuva Samaj, which also conducted the first wildlife exhibition in Sauraha, and other numerous organizations which not only work for the betterment of wildlife but the society too. Awarded the Photographer of the Year 2019 in Nepal, Sagar Giri was the first person to click exceptional tiger photos in Nepal. He believes that for the betterment of Nepalese tourism industry, photography and videography are the best ways to lure tourists by manifesting the true charm of Nepal. There are a lot of struggling artists who should be inspired from him, and the government also should focus on giving people like him enough resources for the country's own benefit. Although facing numerous problems in his already tough job, Sagar Giri has not and will not give up on this path of promoting as well as saving the wildlife. He knows the true meaning of hard work, patience, and determination.